how did losing my job at 24 years old change my life? Right? That's what I was going to talk about today as we're kind of driving back home in traffic. Honestly, it shaped my life in a different way than I could ever imagine, and it made me think about corporate jobs and just W-2 employment in a completely different way, at least in terms of what I took away from it. Right? I took 3 lessons away from it, but before we even get to that, some context. This is 2 years ago. Out of grad school, I worked at a nonprofit for some time, about 90 days or so during my 90-day probationary period. And right about 2 weeks before I got fired, or 2 weeks before my probationary period ended, I got fired, right? And I pretty much got a call on the Monday saying, hey, don't even show up, we don't need you anymore. And that pretty much changed my entire world. And little did I know, it would make me a lot better of a human being and a lot smarter of an individual, right? So 3 key takeaways, getting right into it. Number 1 being, you need a second source of income. Life is going to be a dog-eat-dog world if you do not have a second source of income. Because ultimately, God forbid your W-2 lets you go, but if it does, you're kind of stuck, you're kind of fucked, especially if there's any sort of emergency or any sort of situation that you put yourself in, say high interest debt, or say you have a mortgage you gotta pay. How are you gonna be able to do any of these debt pay downs if you don't have income, right? And so if your job lets you go and that's the only thing you're suffering, or that's the only thing you're surviving with, you're going to suffer, and it's going to be very, very, very rough for you. So the biggest thing that I can say is get a second source of income, and it can be anything. It can be dividends from stocks. It could be real estate, cash flow. It can be a side hustle. It could be DoorDash. It could be a business. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's bringing in at least a couple $100 and you can build some sort of adequate savings from it, you'll be good. You'll be golden for the long run. You know what I mean? So thankfully for me, 2 years ago, I had 2 rental properties. I had one with a mortgage on it and another that was fully paid off. And thankfully, again, I didn't need to touch into the cash flow. But if I did, I knew I'd be okay. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that's the biggest thing that I could say is please get a second source of income. And it's kind of like the saying shows, right? Millionaires have at least 7 different sources of income. So it's not coming out of my ass. It's literally a statistic. So that's got to be number 1, second source of income, no matter what. Number 2 is you are going to get rejected multiple times no matter what, especially if you're in the situation of trying to find a new job, right? You're going to keep getting rejected. There's going to be jobs that get replaced, and honestly, just in life, you are going to get rejected a ton, but that is a good thing. Rejection is what builds thick skin. Rejection is what builds confidence in your abilities to execute, especially under pressure. And that's needed mainly in business, right? So when you keep getting rejected from VCs and whatnot, fuck it. Just get an angel investor if you can, or start bootstrapping it yourself. Fund it yourself. Figure out different ways. For me, at least, rejection is what caused me to think differently. Right after I got fired from my job, maybe 2 days after, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go do my own business and I'm gonna build a construction company. And so I kind of got that started, and I did a few flips, and now we're here, right? So that was kind of the process of, okay, I got rejected. I don't really want to work a job. I never really wanted to work a job. So let me look at a different route. Real estate was my route. I already had 2 houses under my belt. I kind of knew what I was doing. So let me go find another house. Let me flip it and let me see if I can build some cash from it. Luckily, I managed to do that, and I bought my 3rd house just like that. So that's kind of it just changed my shape of mind in what I wanted to do and how I perceive different things. And so for anybody that's currently applying to jobs, or applying to schools or anything, and applying to anything, honestly, you're going to get rejected, and be okay with rejection, because that rejection, each and every single time you get a no, you get one step closer to a yes. That's honestly, that is what helped me a lot, especially when I was super depressed from getting hit with no's day after day after day, right? So we have getting a second source of income, we have rejection, and then lastly, we have your skills, man. Your skills are everything you need to be able to become a adaptable to any situation. Get skills that can be transferable in any industry. Biggest thing, sales. You hear all these guys say it online, but it's true. If you are able to sell, the biggest thing you want to sell is yourself. You need to be able to sell yourself, and you'll land any sort of position, especially in interview processes, especially in schools and whatnot. Selling is the most applicable skill to any industry by far. That, and then you have marketing, and then you have finance, you have accounting. Like, these are all skills that can't really be replaceable unless they're managed, right? So say you have AI doing accounting stuff. I guarantee you they at least need some sort of CFO to make the executive decision. They need at least like baseline accountants to at least review what AI is doing, because it's not going to be correct 100% of the time. So getting these skills, getting your public speaking skills, getting all these different types of traits to adequate, if not 100% capability, is going to be huge and is going to help you through your entire life, not just your job. And so that helped me a ton, because I knew I had analytical skills. I graduated school with finance and became an analyst, and I knew that could just be transferred across the entire board, on top of me having my own real estate company and analyzing my own deals. So that's what really helped me. Those are kind of the 3 lessons that I learned from getting fired at 24 years old. Skills, and then we have your second stream of income, and then we have rejection. So hopefully for anybody that is going through a similar period like this, you take away something from this and you just don't get discouraged, because I promise you there is light underneath the tunnel, and all you have to do is just keep prevailing, keep trying, and I promise you will be able to get something on the other side of the tunnel. So nonetheless, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.